Michaela Jae Rodriguez finally on Broadway.
Yes, indeed.
How is life at Studio 54, Rocky Horror Show?
It's amazing. I mean, we get to not only have our debut here, but also the history that's behind this place is kind of astounding.
And this show, I said it's the best Broadway tenant I've ever seen in this theater. It's so perfect.
It is.
It's such an experience coming to see the Rocky Horror Show at Studio 54.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I feel like it has just the right amount of allure and mystery that Rocky Horror harbors.
And how's Columbia treating you?
She's treating me well. She's a little unhinged. I'm not as unhinged, but I like tapping into her when I can.
Thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Of course.
We are here on 54th Street in Manhattan, but you are going to take me to a very special place, Newark, New Jersey.
I surely am. I surely am. My stomping grounds.
Your origin story starts in Newark, New Jersey.
Yes, it does.
So are we gonna head out to Jersey together?
Why don't we do it? You ready to
Let's
go?
do it. Yeah, let's get in the car.
Hey, come on, y'all.
Michaela, here we are, Newark, New Jersey.
Hometown, yeah.
Is this like home for you?
This is home for me. I used to come here all the time. But this is the Young Arts program. I mean, this is the first place I auditioned.
Tell me about that day.
Oh, it was nerve-wracking. I remember my mom trying to find a place for me to really like hone my skills and really find a place that I would probably just like engulf myself in my craft. And one of her good friends told her about the Young Arts program, the Youth Performing Arts Center, and she was like, I'm just gonna sign her up for it. So we went into our first audition. It was very prestigious. I was too young at the time. They only were accepting like, I think 12 through 18, and I was 11.
Okay.
I sang actually Lauryn Hill's version of Killing Me Softly.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
That was like my everyday audition song. I sang that everywhere. I sang that for my second audition, and my godfather got my case. He was like, when you audition, you don't sing the same song twice. You have a whole, like, you should have a plethora of music. And I was like, thank you. The best part about it is that like I got to really like see myself through the lens of my mom. I saw that she really wanted me to like take up the dream that she wanted, and I mean, she has it now. She has all of it. She gets to live in it. But yeah, she got to see me kind of like thrive at a really young age, and then I stayed here until I was 18. I'm a veteran, honey.
And so this is where like just classes and making friends, and what was it like?
It was so fun.
Were you finding your people kind of?
Yeah, I found my people. I found a lot of the teachers that worked here went to Broadway. Okierte, if any of you guys know, who was in Great Comet, was a teacher here. I went here. There were so many people that came here and learned a lot and went into the world of music or went into the world of musical theater and acting.
And your parents were very much, it sounds like they were
Very hands-on. My dad would drive me here all the time. My mom would drive me here all the time. Or I would walk here from Arts High, because it's not that far.
Okay.
Yeah.
But these are definitely your streets.
These are my streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rector Street. I know this street very well.
I love hearing you talk about your parents.
Yeah.
It just feels like you just had a support system early on. I mean, Dad introduced you to the Rent movie.
He did.
Right? And then you also
did.
talked about, didn't they introduce you to Rocky Horror?
They did, but that was very earlier on. I mean, like, I was quite young, and they would play it on Christmases and Halloween, and I would just watch it with them. You know, they would call me over, and it was like kind of like a little family occasion.
You broke out playing Angel in Rent off Broadway, which I got to see. It was just fantastic at the world stages. Won a Clive Barnes Award. I know you said when you watched the Rent film with your dad, you were like, I want to be Angel.
Yeah.
Do you think you saw something in Angel maybe even deeper than just a great acting role for you?
I saw so many things in Angel. I mean, I looked at her, though I had a sense of self earlier on, when it came to me as a person who was queer and specifically as a trans girl, I definitely did see similarities between me and Angel, and also like her story arc in the show in general. I mean, she was mostly perceived as a drag queen, as we all know, and that is beautiful. I think there was something more rooted in Angel, but the best parts of Angel is that she literally is everything. She's everything.
It seems like you were really given permission from your parents to explore yourself in a beautiful way.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I really love about the story of your parents.
Yeah, my mom and my dad were enthralled around community and around queerness when they were younger. They had a lot of queer friends. My mother would go to a lot of queer parties. I say this all the time. She is one of the biggest and most strongest representations of womanhood I could ever see. She's a strong Black woman. She is a strong woman. And, I'm thankful that I was birthed from her to know what womanhood is. And I was glad to get my stripes of womanhood from her. And I always say, like, she was the one to give that to me. And can't nobody else say anything else, So, yeah, it's a big thing.
And we're heading up to NJPAC now. And you started performing, you started doing shows. So tell me, what was the first time you got to do like a real musical?
The first time I got to do a real musical here was Rent, actually. Like, we
That's
would
crazy.
do summer performance workshops, which would be a compilation of medleys. So me being a vocalist, me being a vocal major, we would do a whole slew of songs that were medleys, and we would perform them at the end of our summer performance workshop. But when I signed up with Cynthia Merrill, who was the musical theater teacher, I remember she said, we're doing a show and I think you should be Angel. So I want you to come in and audition. And I came and auditioned.
Did you sing Today for You?
I surely did. And I remember the day I sang it, it was upstairs in one of these really beautiful spaces. And she didn't tell me at that time, but I remember looking at her looking at her husband and going, I think she's the one. Freddie Walker Brown came to the show.
Original cast member.
Yes. Member. And then me and Freddie took up this really beautiful relationship. And then at that point, she was like, okay, listen, they're bringing back Rent. And I'm sending you in for the audition. I already spoke to Michael Jae.
Wow.
You just need to go to the audition. And I went to the first audition. I did a workshop of Freddie's as well in the midst of that. Went back to school, tried to finish out the first semester. In the middle of doing all of that, I was auditioning back and forth from Boston to New York. And then the semester came to an end and I was in my 5th audition for Rent. I remember standing in front of Bethany Knox, Jeffrey Seller, Michael Jae, Kevin McCullen, and Billy Porter was in the room because he was co-director.
That's right.
I felt that day, I was like, okay, I think I might have this. And I got the call that evening or afternoon, and they told me I booked Angel. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. So yeah, this place holds a lot of history. It holds a lot of my life and where everything started.
But you were always sort of meant for the stage. You were always meant to have the spotlight on you.
Yes, and yes. But like I've always wanted to do this. I mean, but not a lot of kids get to get their talent showcased from this city as much. So I'm very, very thankful, and more so than anything, surprised that I was one of the kids that got found out here. And it feels so good because I'm always represent. I'm like Whitney, and she's from here, by the way. Whitney Houston is born and raised in Newark too, and I pride myself on saying I come here from her. She's one of my inspirations. So I'm like her. I'm like, I'm gonna support, I'm gonna rep, I'm gonna always talk about how Newark is a place where so much talent is just literally like secreting from it. And people should like come here more and really seek out the really beautiful, talented kids that are here.
This is Arts High School. You had to audition to get in here.
Yeah, these were the formative years.
Yeah.
This place was where it all started. I auditioned 3 times, and I got that good old call back to come to the school, and I stayed here for 4 years. So much has happened here too.
Tell me, what is an arts high school like? I mean, is it like Fame? Is it like the Fame, Debbie Allen?
It is.
Canes teaching you to dance?
It is.
What's going on in here?
I mean, the dance majors, they're dancing in the hallways over there. Vocal majors are singing in the hallways all the time. I know I was. The instrumentalists were playing their saxophones or playing their clarinets, playing their brass instruments or playing guitar. There's a media major in there, so everyone downstairs, they would have their cameras recording us.
Now, isn't this also where you were exposed to ballroom culture?
Well, yes, my house father at the time, his name is Timothy J. Smart, he would come here too, and he would have fashion shows here. This was one of the places where he would explore his arts in the fashion world because, believe it or not, there were fashion majors too. He would come in and he would have like some of the dance majors who did fashion as well. He would teach them how to walk, or he would teach them, you know, how to do a fashion show. And in the midst and rigmarole of all of that, he found his children, and I was one of his children.
You talk about the opportunities that are opening up. What are like your hopes and dreams for things that you want to do in the future?
My head right now is film.
Yeah.
And music. I love writing music. I went to school for music. That was my passion from the jump, and now it's really doing well. I have a music video out now that I didn't even expect to have as many views. It has 2.2 million views. That's the first I've ever had that many views on a song. But yeah, film more than anything. I want to be in movies more. You know, I've gotten my taste of it when I did Tick, Tick, Boom and, you know, Transformers and amongst the other ones that I've done. And I think now it's time to be a centerfold in it. So I'm gonna keep fighting to get that while I do my music.
You're spending the summer on Broadway. We get a few months with you on Broadway in
Yes,
Rocky
you do.
Horror. What is it like to be sort of doing the Broadway grind, the 8 shows a week, and to be in the life right now? How's it feeling for you?
I mean, yes, it is vigorous and it is challenging, but it's the challenge that I love, you know? I mean, and it gets this body right. My body is feeling freaking fantastic. Though she can be crickety after the show, the work that it has built up in these thighs and this gluteus maximus and the packs of the 6 on the stomach area, it's great. So I love it.
But does it feel right to just be walking through a Broadway stage door every night?
Yeah, it does. Like, you know, it's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. A lot of the peeps that I've known too, I mean, huge people, Bernie Telsey, shout out to Bernie Telsey, who's known me since I was 19 years old, and the Kevin McCullums and Michael Grimes, like, they saw, you know, the work that I put in, and like, even hearing Michael, you know, text me and say, congratulations on your first Broadway debut, honey. Like, you really deserve it. Like, that means a lot.
What was it like becoming famous? I mean, that's just like such a crazy question, such a blunt question, but getting posed was huge.
I feel like it was a whirlwind of feelings and emotions. I was young. I was 25 going on 26, and I had just had 3 years of nothing whatsoever. No shows, no musicals, just auditioning.
You just weren't landing anything?
No, not anything. I was too specific. Those were the words that were being told to me.
Specific.
Because of, you know, the girl I was. And there was really no roles for girls like me at that time. Which is fine, because now there are. Literally 2 days before I had gotten the call, I told my mom, yeah, I think I'm giving up. I was literally in the room. I will never forget this. I was in the room and I'm like, I'm giving up. I'm just gonna go to my regular life. We're gonna work a 9 to 5. It's gonna be cute because no one's gonna bother me, you know, and I get to be in my cute little pencil skirt and my blazer, and we'll be a regular schmegular lady in the day and night. Working girl. And 2 days later, that's when we got the call. So it was crazy to hear it. I didn't register it when Ryan told me I had the part. I didn't believe it. He had to tell me a couple of times, like, you have the part. It didn't register. It didn't hit me until I would say about the 3rd season, which is a long time for someone to really, like, you know, regulate those feelings and adjust to fame. So I never thought about, like, how fame would impact me. And when 3rd season happened and people started calling my name down the street or stopping me or walking down Park Fifth Avenue, and seeing 5 boys just rushed up to me and surrounded me and were like, "Your mother Blanca, we need a picture with you." Like, that was a lot to adjust to. Most times my fans, they are very calm and collected, and yeah, like, I would embrace it all. Like, so I guess fame, I was always ready for it. I was never afraid of it. I always compartmentalize her when I need to, you know, as a normal human being should. But I also live in her when I need to. I love a red carpet.
But also there's the extra responsibility of being a role model. This is, you know, sort of discussed a lot. I think you seem very comfortable with that too. You talk about, you know, your children, your queer children, and how is that? How is it now that you're on Broadway and you're probably interacting and seeing them sort of in front of you every night? What's that like?
It's so good. I love to see a smile of recognition, knowing that it's me, you know, or a cute little wink from the audience members. Most of them are very young, or even walking down the streets of New York. Like I was walking with Anania. If anyone doesn't know who Anania is, she's a fantastic artist and singer, but also a super famous influencer. And we were both walking down the street, and I heard this girl scream at the top of her lungs. I was like, Anania, girl, that's for you. And she said, girl, I don't know. And then I heard her say, oh my God, that's the girl from Pose. I said, girl, you right, it's me, oh my God. She was so sweet. I think they were about like 14 to 15. They followed us like 2 blocks down. She started crying and she was like, can I get a picture with you? And I just said, yeah. Like, why wouldn't I get a picture with you? And we took the picture and I just had a self-reflecting moment of like, oh my God, this is what has been started since, you know, we started Pose. I love my fans. I love my supporters. I love my people. I want more because I feel like there's a lot more people to influence and show what love looks like. As cheesy as that sounds.
How do you lean on your mom in day-to-day life now?
I bother her so much. I go into her room all the time and ask her for advice, like when I'm feeling down or when I'm feeling like there's mystery even in the world or with me or with anything. I really bother her. I go into her room and I lay on her bed and I just go, what do I do? And she always gives me great advice. Moms always give great advice, especially when it comes to their babies, especially when it comes to their children. Like, and she gives me great advice on how to maneuver and navigate through a world that is wild, you know? And the main thing that she's always told me is to have grace and humility and compassion.
Did she have a reaction to seeing you on a Broadway stage?
Never. Because she wants to see me always be humble, but she really is deep down inside. She's like, you did that. I really appreciate that. You ate that up. You know, like she'll tell me
you ate that up.
on the side. But like, she's so coy and so together. But like her excitement comes out when we're home. Her excitement just overflows and we're so giddy when we're in the house together.